Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let us learn about two more important services by learning them with hands-on implementation with best practices. Okay. So now in this video, what we're gonna learn? So in this video, I will tell you how to deploy your stack. You can say your AWS cloud infrastructure that you are going to create by using CloudFormation as stack. So how to deploy a stack by using CloudFormation service, that we're gonna see in this video. And one more thing is how to implement a step function to manage your workflow. So what is workflow, sir? Workflow is nothing but a sequences or series of tasks, or those we can able to say them as. In this lab, we're gonna even done one more important thing, that is a pairing connection. Providing a pairing connection between regions, between region VPCs, we are even providing pairing connection with this automation. Here we simply store our YAML, or you can say JSON template, to deploy these services inside our S3 bucket. Inside our S3 bucket, we actually stored our JSON data and these functions related code. So by using those, first we will see how to create this environment, that is deploy these Lambda functions and required log groups and IAM users. You can see I have already logged into my AWS management console. So first I want to show you in between what are the two VPCs I'm going to create pairing connection. In this lab, at the end, the pairing connection will be established by these two tasks. By CloudFormation, we're gonna deploy whatever the environment resources that we require in order to do this automation. And by using step function, we're gonna implement that CloudFormation. That is, we're gonna implement that pairing connection automation. Now, first, if you observe, I present in North Virginia region. I have Lab A VPC. Now, I am expecting to provide connectivity between this Lab A VPC having this CIDR block to another region. You can see I'm opening this US West 2, that is Horizon region. So there also I have created one more VPC. To that VPC, I want to create connection between these two. Can I say now I'm providing connectivity between two regions? So can I say this is a interconnectivity of VPCs between two different regions? Yes. This is the lab B VPC. So that I have created for this lab. Now I want to show you one more thing, that is actually this lab B VPC is allowing traffic only through the transient gateway. If you can observe here, I've already created transient gateway for this lab B VPC as well as for lab A VPC. In that corresponding region, I've created the corresponding transient gateway for that as well. Now, what I'm expecting, I want to provide pairing connection between these two VPCs, right? Yeah. So in order to provide pairing connection between, you can see this is the transient gateway that I created for lab VPC A. Now, in order to provide pairing connection between those two VPCs, we need to create a pairing connection. Then we need to attach the routes. Then, so first we need to create a pairing connection. If we create a pairing connection, then it establishes a route between our VPCA and VPCB. So then after, in order to allow the traffic from VPCB to VPCA, we need to even configure the route table. You can see this is the transient gateway related route table. So if we allow the traffic here, then only that traffic will be allowed. So you can see I associated with this with this VPC. This VPC is nothing but our VPC A. Since we are in North Virginia, this is VPC A. So this VPC A I attached with this. You can see that is associated here. Now, if you observe the routes, currently it is not allowing any traffic from our VPC-B. Since that VPC-B is present in which region, in which CIDR block range 10.2.0.0, right? Yeah. So similarly, let's observe whether the traffic coming from VPC-A is allowed in our VPC-B through this transient gateway. So now you can see I opened the transient gateway route table and I want to open the transient gateway where my VPCB is associated. This is the transient gateway where my VPCB is associated. So in order to show you that is connected to VPCB, I am opening the associated VPC to that. You can see that VPCB. Now you can observe the routes. So here also you don't have the route that is allowed. You can see there is no route that is allowing the traffic which is coming from our VPCA which is present in North Virginia region. So now I want to create a pairing connection. Then after I want to provide that route in order to allow the traffic, right? Yeah. So for that, so I want to create a one lambda function in order to create a pairing connection. Then at last I want to create a route also, right? So whenever this pairing connection is created, after that I want to create a route. So before creating a route, I need to check whether this pairing connection is created or not, right? Yeah. In order to check that pairing connection is created or not, I created one more lambda function. And in order to create a route after this pairing connection got successfully created, I want to create one more lambda function. So for this task, in order to create a pairing connection, then create a routes in our transit gateway route table. I need this flow. I need this workflow. So I want to create a pairing connection. I want to wait a minute and then check whether that pairing connection is established or not. If that connection is established, then that's okay. Then I'll create the route and I'll end this flow. Otherwise, if the pairing connection is not created, I'll wait one more minute and then again check. So like that, I'll check till my pairing connection got created. If it is created, then I'll simply create the routes in my VPC transit gateway route table. So that's why then my route is allowed, right? Yeah. So in that way, we can able to finally establish the pairing connection between two VPCs and we can able to allow the traffic between those two VPCs, right? Yeah. So now I want to do this by automation task. So that's why I want to use CloudFormation to deploy these three lambda functions. Then I want to use step function in order to manage this workflow. So for this, I want to show you my S3 bucket. There I actually stored my lambda functions related zip files, where in that zip files I have already written the code required for this lambda functions. And I've also written a JSON related script there, so that by using that script, we can able to deploy all these lambda services. So first, in order to show you that, I'm opening my S3 bucket in another new tab. If you can see under the available S3 buckets, under this bucket, I've created a JSON script in order to deploy or in order to develop what are the required AWS resources environment that I require by using this CloudFormation stack. So whatever the stack that I want to develop, so that related this JSON script I have already written. And in order to provide code for these lambda functions, I've already stored some zip files here. You can see these zip files are responsible for code in order to perform specific corresponding actions in our lambda functions. First, I want to show you this transit gateway code. that I've already created. Under the actions, you have an option that is a query with S3 select. You can select it. In order to query the data which is present in it, just remove the limit in order to get the whole data present in that file. Now you can able to observe whatever the template related details that I have configured. You can see here I provided my S3 bucket related data parameters. In parameters, I provided my S3 related data. Then after, if you observe, I provided my resources like pairing transit gateway, that is nothing but a lambda function, and that particular lambda function related runtime, and that particular lambda function related handle name and function name. So everything I have provided. And for code reference, I provided the S3 bucket reference, and I also provided the key, that is nothing but in which file exactly my code is there. So that also I provided. By using this code, this lambda function will be created, and that code is related to this particular event. So that's why I provided the function name like that in order to remember that function. And I even provided the description for my lambda function and memory size, timeout, how much time my lambda function need to run, and my role in order to create and in order to perform these all things, this lambda function require some IAM role. So that I have provided here. Similar to that, this is the lambda function related to pairing transit gateways. That's nothing but our transit gateway creation lambda function. This is. Then after, if you observe, in order to check the status of a pairing connection, you can see in order to deploy one more lambda function, right? That lambda function related code, or you can say data, I have written in this JSON format. Then after that, in order to modify the target, so I have written one more lambda function here. So at last, you can see this is one more lambda function in order to modify my request. Or you can say the route tables, in order to modify my route table and put some route there in that route table. These are the two modification related route tables that I have created for the lambda functions. These lambda functions will actually modify the route. Now then after, if you observe, this is the transit gateway related IAM role. You can see this is the role also created automatically when I deploy, whenever I create this stack by using this JSON. So that lambda, that IAM role also I have defined here. And the policies that I want to attach, those also I have provided. That is a assume role policy and lambda function. So all I have attached, and you can see this is the transit gateway policy. Yeah. So and I have also allowed the actions that I want to allow. Then you can see in order to create logs, I provided those log related groups as well. You can see these are the log related groups. In order to monitor each and every step after my deployment, or you can say at the time of deployment, or whenever I got some error, in order to rectify that, we need logs, right? Yeah. So there, for those logs, I have created these all logs. So then, yeah, this is our IAM role. So in order to do these tasks, whatever the resources that I require for this lab, so those all I have created by using this transit gateway pairing JSON. I just want to copy this. You can see I'm copying this URI. This URI I copied. By using this URI template, this JSON template, we can able to deploy. We can able to deploy or develop our whole environment from CloudFormation. Let us see that how to develop all our environment infrastructure from our CloudFormation stack by using this JSON script as well as these codes, these zip files. These zip files are nothing but the corresponding zip files related to my lambda functions that I'm going to create. Now I'm opening the CloudFormation. In order to deploy this, to develop the resources, I'm opening the CloudFormation in one more new tab. Now I want to create, right? Create a stack. So that's why under stacks, I'm clicking on this. That is nothing but create a new stack. That is standard type. And here you need to prepare the template. You need to choose the template or use a sample template. Those are already available or built from application compressor. Now I'm expecting to choose from existing template. Now I'm providing the URL of my S3 bucket that I have copied. You can see I copied URI, right? Now I want to copy the URL for this S3 file. Now I just copied the URL. Now I'm gonna paste it here. So after this pasting also, you can able to view whatever the resources that are going to be created from application composer. If you select that, then that will show you the resources that are going to create through this template. You can see these all are the resources that are going to be created. You can see how many lambda functions. You can see 3 lambda functions and totally 4 lambda functions will going to create. And if you observe log groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 log groups will be created and one IAM role also created. So this is what happened whenever you deploy that. Now I'm moving back to my CloudFormation stack, and here I'm providing this JSON script. Now I'm clicking on next. I provided my template related JSON script. Now here we need to provide stack name. So I want to move on with the default stack name. So that's why currently I'm not providing anything, or based on your application, you can able to provide your stack name. Then you need to provide the bucket name here. So where actually all my parameters related data are there. So that bucket name we need to provide here. I've already shown you the code which is present in it. That code using these all zip files in order to use them in lambda function, in corresponding lambda function. So that's why I'm copying this bucket name and I'm providing that bucket name here, and I'm just clicking on next. Simply I'm providing, I'm not providing any permissions role here. I'm moving on with the default options and clicking on next. That's it. Now I'm just clicking on acknowledgement and simply submit it, so that whatever the script that is present in it, that related environment will be deployed or developed automatically by using this CloudFormation. Now I'm just clicking on submit. Now you can see it was in creation. What it was in creation. So like this, and it even show you the resources that are created. So this is the stack that we just deployed. So that is a deploying. So let's wait till this got deployed successfully. That is, you can see creation is in progress. Let's wait till the creation got completed successfully. You can even see the template that you provided to this from here. Under the templates tab, so it will provide you the script that you provided. Okay, so let's wait till this deployment got successful. Now you can see that create complete. That means our stack got deployed successfully. What does that mean? That means whatever the required resources that I have created, these all resources are created. You can see completely created. All resources are visible here. You can see. So these are the all resources that we created by using that JSON script from what service? From CloudFormation service. Now you can go to lambda function, and there you can able to verify whether your lambda functions are created or not. Now you can observe here, I'm opening, you can see what are the lambda functions that I have created. So those are lambda functions that are created here. This pairing transit gateway in order to create a pairing connection. This get status in order to check the status of the pairing connection. And in order to add the route, so this is one of the Lambda function that I have created for adding the route. You can even see the code which is present inside it. So that code is nothing but this code that we provided under our S3 bucket. So for pairing transit gateway, this code is using this zip file related code that you can able to see under this. You can see this is the code that is actually present under that. So just focus on concept, that is how we deployed by using CloudFormation stack. I hope you understood that. How do we deploy our AWS services or resources in a stack from CloudFormation by using a simple JSON script. Then you have even observed the output that is generated, the Lambda functions that are created, and so what are the inserted code in it based on the parameters that we provided. Those are also even visible from here, right? Yeah. I'll just show you the code which is present in it, because in next step we're gonna use these all Lambda functions in order to automate the task of creating a pairing connection between our VPCs, right? Yeah. So that's why I'm just showing this code to you. Just focus on what we are doing, that is how we are doing and what we are learning. Okay. Now I want to show you the last code, that is this, in order to provide the pairing connection. That is in order to create the route to our acceptor. That acceptor is nothing but our one more VPC. Yeah. Now now you can see these all Lambda functions got deployed successfully. So now in this moment, I have generated the stack or all AWS resources infrastructure environment that I require to automate the task of providing a pairing connection between two VPCs. Now, what I want to use these Lambda functions in order to execute these tasks sequentially in the form of a workflow. So in order to do that, now we are using AWS Step Function. For that, I'm opening again Step Function here. I want to show you how to create your own step function in order to perform, or so in real time you're gonna use this step function in order to manage your workloads. So now in this video, we're gonna manage our workloads or workflow by using this step function in order to automate the process of creating pairing connection and creating the routes, updating the routes in our route tables. Now I'm clicking on get started. Here you can see three options are there. I want to create from scratch, so that's why I'm clicking on it. You can see we just now entered here. Now, since what I want to do at first, I want to create a pairing connection, right? Yeah. So for that, I'm using the Lambda invoke. And for this Lambda invoke, I want to provide the configurations. That is this state name you need to provide. So this is for pairing connection. So that's why I provided like this the name. So you can provide the state name, anything. This is nothing but we are under the state machines. Now we are creating a state machine in order to manage our environment. Not only you can use the Lambda, you can have ability to use multiple AWS services. You can see most popular services and almost a lot of services are there. By using those services, you can able to create a state machine and you can able to manage your workflows in real time. Now in this lab, we are creating a workflow in order to create a pairing connection, right? Yeah. So that pairing connection related a Lambda. First, we provided the stack name, state name. Then we need to choose the function. You can see here I have an option to choose the function name. I've already created that function inside this pair transit gateway Lambda function. So that's why I'm selecting this. Then I want to use I want to enter the payload that I want for this lab. So I'm just expecting to enter the payload that I require for this lab. That is input dot dollar that I want to provide. You can see the syntax like this only you need to provide. So just I'm providing dollar. And then you can see the outputs. So it also generates me the outputs. Currently, I don't want any output. So that's why I'm not expecting any filter out any output with output path. So that's why I selected that. Now, by using this lambda function, actually the pairing connection will be created. So then after what I need to do, as per our architecture, you can see we need to wait for a minute. So that we can configure in our step functions state machine through this flow. You can see wait option is there. I'm just dragging it and dropping it here. Now for how much time I want to wait? For 1 minute, that is nothing but 60 seconds. So that's why I provided this. Then after waiting, so what I need to do again, I need to check right whether that pairing connection status is established or not, right? So status, I want to check. Status check for pairing connection. So that I want to do. So by using what we can able to do? By using another lambda function only, right? So that's why I'm selecting a function name here. So that function I've already previously created. That is, you can see get transit gateway pairing status. So that is the lambda function that I've previously created to check the status that I'm selecting here. And so for this also currently what I'm doing, I'm providing the input payload from here. That is I'm entering some sample payload similar to previously I've provided. That is input dot dollar is equal to is to dollar itself. Yeah. Then I currently do not require or expect to filter output with output path. So that's why I deselected. Then from here, what happens? From here, I have, if you observe, I have two choices. One is connection not established, then I need to wait again. If connection is established, I need to move to next step, that is creating routes. So how to provide this? So to provide this, you have an option under a flow that is choice option. So since we have two choices, so that's why I selected this as the choice. So first, it need to check the rule. Based on that rule, either it may go to somewhere or else it need to go to, by default, it need to go to where? It need to go to wait period, right? I'm providing the default rule here. That is the next state is nothing but a wait state. So if this rule is not valid, then next state will be waiting state, and we need to again check the status. Now let's provide the rule here. You can see I am adding the condition, and here actually I am providing the rule, that is a dollar payload status. Payload dot status. I provided that. And if the dollar payload status variable contains the value that is equals to the string constant that is available, then I obviously move to the next step. That is, I want to create a route table, right? Yeah, I want to create a routes. So if otherwise, then what I will do by default, I'll wait and check whether the status of pairing connection is established or not. So if the pairing connection is available, where I got the status like a payload status is available, then I want to move to the next state. That is what I need to do after creating my payload. I need to create route, right? Yeah, create routes. Create routes in VPC, right? Yeah. So first I want to create route in my acceptor. So that's why I selecting currently I selecting the route in order to allow the traffic from other service to this requester. I told you two VPCs are there. So currently I want to provide for one requester. VPC need to allow the traffic. Then I'm similarly providing some sample payload here. That is a dollar, sorry, input dot dollar, and that value I'm providing within a ports. Yeah, like this I provided. Then I'm going to the output session, and here at last I don't want to again filter my output path, but I want my original input to output. So that's it. By using these configurations, now what I'm doing, I'm just clicking on create this state machine. Here we also have an option to provide role configurations. Now I'm just clicking on it to provide the role configurations. You can provide your state machine name based on your requirement, or you can move on with the default state machine name. Let's say this is a state machine 1. So that's why providing a name like this. And here you need to provide the role. So for this, I've already created one role that I've provided here. You can see. And yeah, that's it. I'm just creating this so that whatever the state machine that we provided, that is created successfully, right? That message even visible here. Now, by using this state machine, we can start execute it so that our workflow will start and flow in the same way where our state machine was. You can even see by clicking on edit, this is state machine, how it will be. You can see whenever we start, it will start from here, and then it will create a pairing connection, then wait for a moment, then wait for a minute, then it will check the status. And if the payload is available, then it will move to next step. That is a create a route table in acceptor. Otherwise, it will wait till this pairing connection got created. Now, I want to run this. So that's why I'm moving on to state machines. If you reload this, that state machine is visible since you created that. Now I want to execute it. So that's why I'm clicking on start execute from here or here. Now I'm clicking on start execute. Here we need to provide some input if you want. So for this lab, I don't want to provide anything. So that's why I'm clicking on start execution. Sometimes in order to execute your workflow, you need to provide some input. So that you need to provide at that scenario. Currently for this project, I don't need to provide. So that's why I haven't provided any inputs for this. Now you can see in which step actually we are in. So that is visible here. From this flow graph, from this graph view, you can able to see that. If you see that table view, then that will show you the task, the type of it is executing, and in which status we are currently. And in the events, you can able to see, so what are the events that are happened. This is the task started and scheduled task, and task state is entered and execution is started. You can even view the state view. So now I want to show you one more thing, that is after creating my pairing connection and after creating this route need to be visible, right? Yeah. So in order to see the route, in my transit gateway, so where that route is created inside my transit gateway related route table, right? Yeah. So that's why I'm opening this transit gateway previously itself to show you that difference. Now I'm opening this North Virginia region related route table in another new tab. Currently, I'm creating the route only in one route table, not in two route tables. I'm creating the route in this route table. So after that got executed successfully, that is our state machine got executed successfully, or our workflow got executed successfully. At this stage, actually it create a route inside where inside our transit gateway. Here you can see. So currently it is allowing only this. So after that is created a pairing connection related route. A route of pairing connection type will be created to here. From here you can see this North Virginia region is related to VPCA that starts with 10.1.0.0/16 as the IP address of that VPC. After our workflow got executed successfully, here another route related to our VPC-B CIDR block, that is a 10 dot that starts with a 10.2.0.0/16 that is created here with a pairing connection. Don't worry, I'll show you how to update your state machine, and even I'll show you how to create a route table related route here through updated code. So currently till here the steps are executed. Now you can see those all steps are visible under your events. You can see one task completed, that is a status checks, and then it enters into the wait state. So let's move on from starting. I think this is the starting number one. Yeah. So execution started, then pairing connection establishing got started. Then you can see the task succeeded, that is a pairing connection was established. So then after it will wait for a minute. Then after it will check the status. Then after the status got checked successfully, it reaches to the choice and it reaches to the wait state. When it reaches to the wait state, it reaches to the wait state when that is not available. So if let's say that is available, that is our pairing connection that we created was available, then it moves to the next step, that is creates the route table. You can see all are into the successful color. This is the succeeded color. All tasks are reached to the succeeded color in our workflow. Then we can assume that our state function got executed successfully. You can see at last our state function got executed successfully. And you can see status checks was completed. Then after a route also created in our VPC acceptor, then our execution got succeeded. You can even expand to see so what happened, related details. Now, in order to show you the route that is created here, I want to reload my transit gateway related route table. If you observe, then there will be a route is created through which connection, that is a pairing connection, pairing type resource. A route got created successfully in our VPC A. In our VPC A related transient gateway route table, you can see we are allowing the traffic from VPC B to this transient gateway through the pairing connection. Now, if you open this VPCA related route table, currently there is no route is here. Now I want to create route to here as well. So for that, I've already created the Lambda function. Now I want to update whatever the available workflow that I have, or you can say a state machine that I have. And I want to create a route there as well. So that's why I'm clicking on edit. I want to show you editing as well. So what are the available route tables? Those you can even able to edit. So I'm creating it for request star. This is the request star, or you can say this is the VPC A. I want to create a route for VPC A. And here we need to select the appropriate Lambda function. Now I'm clicking on, you can see this is that the route table. This is the Lambda function that will actually create the route table inside our VPCA. You can see I have selected that Lambda function as well. And now I'm clicking on save, so that whatever the updated state machine, whatever the state machine that we just updated, that got saved successfully, updated successfully. From here itself, you can click on execute so that it will be executed. In previous step, I was shown you from here by clicking here, by clicking here start execute option, I was shown you how to execute. Now also I want to show you that from editing option. So after creating your function, or you can say workflow, you can simply click on execute here so that it starts executing your step function. You can see the start execution related JSON script it is asking. Currently, I don't want to provide for this lab, or there is a no JSON script that is needed. So that's why I clicked on start. You can see our execution state is in progress. So currently it is executing one by one task. After everything got succeeded, the state machine got executed succeeded and the route got created here successfully. So let's wait till that state machine execution finishes. Now I'm opening that state machine. Yeah, our pairing connection got successfully created. We are waiting. That is 1 minute wait state we are currently in. Let's wait a moment. Here you can see it is checking the status. So after it checks the status, if the status is available, then you can see it reaches to this and a route is created in our VPCA, and that's it. You can see the execution status was succeeded. Now I'm just moving back to my transient gateway of my VPCA. You can see currently the route is not visible. I'm just reloading it. If you observe through the pairing connection, our VPCA, or you can say our VPCB is allowing the traffic from VPCA, right? Yeah. So from VPCA, the traffic is allowed to this VPCB related transit gateway route table. So from this lab, what we did and what we learned, we have seen how to create our CloudFormation stack from a JSON template, which I have stored in my S3 bucket. Then we have also seen how to manage our workflow in real time. In real time environment, how to manage our workflow by using step function. So this is all about this lab. I hope you understood this video and you got some knowledge insights from this video. I hope this video is useful. You learned some hands-on knowledge regarding implementing some AWS services in real time. If you feel this video is useful, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Thanks for watching again. See you back in the next video with another interesting topic. Until then, bye bye, guys.